today's video, we're gonna do an in-depth review of the Win1 E2 e-bike. Now, I've had this e-bike for quite a bit now, and I've been using it, and I wanted to give you guys my full, honest opinion on it since I've had it, and I'm gonna go over all the pros, the cons. We're gonna discuss everything. There she is. There's my baby. So, right off the bat, guys, I just wanna say, this is a beautiful looking e-bike. I mean, it looks super aggressive. This thing has just been so much fun to ride. Really nice bike. Really good, affordable e-bike as well. All right, so let's get right into the power system on this thing. So this is a rear hub drive motor, 48 volts, 750 peak watt. It's got full suspension on here. It's running a 13 amp hour battery. Claim distance on this bike, I believe is 65 miles, if I remember correctly. Now, I've been using this, so I have an idea on what the bike is capable of, but we'll get into that here soon. What we have going on here in the front is going to be a really nice bright front headlight there. You guys can see. Front suspension is adjustable, so you can make adjustments here and here. Rear suspension is also adjustable as well. You guys see right here, there's an adjustment right here, so you can just turn this thing either direction to either, you know, stiffen the suspension or loosen it. Class 2 e-bike. It's a pedal assist e-bike, class 2. We got 7-speed Shimano shifter, really nice. I love this shape here. This design is just really nice looking. Front fenders on here. It is a twist throttle. And I'm gonna get on here and show you guys. So twist throttle, you got a nice digital display right here. Right here is where you make your adjustments for your pedal assist. So you guys can see it's going down. And then you don't have, there's no pedal assist if you go all the way down to 0. You can go all the way back up again. And then you get your on off right here. And then there's also a on off on the battery itself. The battery does come out, takes a key, so you can remove the battery if you wanted to. It does come with a little bell here. It's like an old school bell, nothing fancy. So guys, like I said, I've had this bike for a while. I've been riding it, and the bike is fun. It does max out at 28 miles an hour, but with pedal assist on level 5, you're only gonna see 20 miles an hour, usually like 19 and a half or so. And then if you pedal it, you're gonna be able to get those extra speeds. You're gonna get those class 3 speeds. Once you get around that 19 mile an hour, when pedaling, the pedals kind of are just useless. They don't really do anything. There's not enough gearing on the bike to be able to do that. But if you do just pedal slightly, the bike will keep going. It'll go faster, so you don't need to actually crank on the pedals. You can actually just barely move them, because it has a cadence sensor, so once it just detects any kind of movement, it's gonna keep going to those higher speeds. One thing I did notice is that the bike does not have enough torque for the off-road type scenarios that it's designed for. Now, you guys see it has a very aggressive off-road look, but it's lacking in power there. I think that this company should have put a bigger motor on the back, and as well as eliminated the like maxing out at 20 miles an hour unless you pedal it. But I'm gonna put B-roll footage in here. We've been on trails with this thing. I've been through a lot of water. I haven't had any issues with water damage or anything, but I've had this thing almost, I think I've had these tires almost submerged, at least halfway submerged in heavy water on trail. And the bike was able to get that, but it struggled. It definitely struggled. The rear suspension is very bouncy, so you're definitely going to need to adjust that screw there to make it stiffer. Otherwise, you kind of like, you feel like you're in an old school Cadillac and you're just kind of bouncing down the road. Front suspension, whenever it hits a bump and the wheel comes up, it smashes. There's springs in there, and those springs just shoot out, and you get like a doing sound, like a heavy, hard hitting sound. And Another thing is with the kickstand, when you're riding the bike and you're going over bumps, that kickstand is back there bouncing around, and I've tried tying it up and it doesn't really help. So those are just like the annoyances of the bike. Other than that, everything's good. The bike does ride very well. So far, the distance I've been able to get out of this bike without actually killing the battery was about 35 miles. So I think 40 miles is probably doable if you're doing a majority of it is like pedal assist in low modes. But if you're just flying through everywhere, you're gonna kill the battery a lot faster. It'll probably do 25 miles on just the motor itself, maybe 30 on just the motor. So one more thing that I gotta say that I noticed is if you guys look here, you guys see how high the seat kind of comes up. It forces you kind of forward on the bike. And just because it's too much angle there, I think that if they had less angle on the seat, like if it didn't flare up right here and it kind of just came a little straighter back, I think it would make for a much more comfortable ride. Otherwise, you kind of find yourself pushing yourself back a lot. Now, I know I just mentioned a whole lot of cons there, and I don't want to throw you off to where you think that the bike is a junk bike. I think that the bike is a good bike. It needs a couple of tweaks and stuff, but it's still a good bike. Now, this is my 6th e-bike, and so far this one has been the most comfortable for me to ride. And I don't know if it's maybe because I'm taller, but I really enjoy riding this one. For the price that you're paying for this bike, I think it's totally worth it. This bike is like around $900 for this thing. And when it came shipped, it came almost fully assembled. There was almost no work that I had to do to this thing. Yeah, you have to put the wheel on and the pedals and stuff on, but compared to some of the other e-bikes, I spent a lot less time assembling this thing from the box. So I'm gonna leave a link to this bike in the video description. If you guys want, you guys can check it out, see for yourself. I think that this is a good bike if you're gonna do mild off-road stuff. If you're gonna hit a trail, it's pretty flat, there's no water or anything like that. Just mild off-road, not anything with like jumps or anything like that. Because when you look at the bike, you're kind of thinking, oh, this thing might be really fast and maybe I can do jumps on it and stuff, freestyle stuff. I wouldn't say that this bike is for that. If you want something that can go off-road, if you want to do some fishing or maybe even camping too, I think that this bike is excellent for that. The suspension does need a little bit of adjustment work, but I think that's something you can probably do on your own. And as far as the power goes, like I said, it is slightly lacking in torque, but nonetheless, it's still a good bike.